My sound, your sound, transition, and hello everyone. I remembered to keep my phone on mute. I sure did. Hi Luca, how are you doing today? Alright. And Mama, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I feel less sleepy than yesterday. Not necessarily less tired, just less sleepy.
Yeah. It is unfortunately the time of nap when we do the Sudoku puzzles, so we will have to fight through it. But we'll make it work. Um but yeah. Alright. I don't have anything to share before Sudoku. Do you have anything?
Now, but I have to ask, Luca, do you sleep with the fishes?
Oh, referencing the Disney movie,
Disney?
Pixar.
Uh, no. We're talking The Godfather.
Oh, we're talking Godfather.
Lucas Brassi sleeps with the fishes, I do believe. Unless I'm remembering that way wrong.
Godfather, Luca sleep with fishes, and then Luca animated movie. It is Disney Pixar. And then it is Luca Brasi. Although it looks like Luca's name has two S's in chat versus one according to this first a couple of YouTube links and a few other places. So it's a different number of letters. But it could be a reference, maybe not. But while we wait on that, I'm ready for some Sudoku.
Yep. That's
Alright,
Sudoku.
there. Still won't. Hang on, on top. Then, our first puzzle for today is going to be Take the Low Road by Chili. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Some cells contain arrows. A digit in a cell with an arrow must be larger than all the other digits in the grid in the cells along the direction of the arrow. Interesting. A digit in a cell with an arrow must be larger than all the other digits in the grid in the cells along the direction of the arrow. So if this was a 4, all of these could only be 1, 2, or 3. Okay. So how do we make this work?
Will column 9, wouldn't the last three be a 1, 2, 3?
Not necessarily.
Oh, right, because they have to be less than that.
Yeah.
But 9 would be under. No, nope, that could be 9. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, we know that this one's 6, 7, 8 or not. Because it has to have 5 digits that it's larger than.
Right.
And I guess there's a part of me that just wants to put the minimum values in each of these arrows. So anything that points like here has a minimum value of 2. This, 1, 2, 3, 4, is a minimum of 5. This one is a minimum of 3. This one, minimum 3, because I could go 1, 2, 1, 2. Although this is a minimum 3, and because this must be larger than that, this is minimum 4. This has to be larger than 4, so it's minimum 5. So this one is now minimum 6, since it must be bigger. This one had to be minimum 3, but it has to be bigger than a 5, so it must be at least 6. This one's minimum 3. This one Well, the only thing that's going to make it minimum is that 6. So this is at least a 7. That one's minimum 3. This one minimum 4. This one minimum 3. And this one minimum 4. And that one 3. And I think we've run out of things that overlap. 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, this one couldn't be a 9 because it has an arrow pointing at it. And this can't be a 9 because it has an arrow pointing at it. And that same arrow can't be a 9, so that takes 8 out as a possibility. And since this 6, 7 points at this 5, this has to be 5 or 6. This 3 is 3, 4, 5, 6, because the only arrow that's pointing at it is this 6, 7. This 4, 5. And we have a little bit of a chain here. This one links to that one, links to this one, links to that one, links to this one.
The 7, 8, 9 in box 1. Follow that diagonal down.
Oh. So this one must be larger than this, which has to be bigger than this, which has to be bigger than that, which makes this a 6, which must be larger than this, which must be larger than that. And now suddenly this is a 7, and since this has to be bigger than that 7, it's an 8, which this is now the 9. 6 and 7 are out of there. This has to be smaller than this, so the 6 is gone, but it doesn't have to be smaller than that, so that can still be another 5. Remove the red from there. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 isn't a possibility, 5 is not a possibility there. So these go 1, 2, 3. Can't be a 9. Don't think... Oh, this 4 points at it, so it's not... Oh, I guess it could be an 8 still. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6 and 7 are no longer possibilities. It's got an arrow pointing at it, so the 9 goes away. That has to be smaller than the 5. Okay. Have we put in the things that are restricted now? Okay, well, to add on to this, then, well, this one goes up to 4, because it has to be smaller than this. This is gonna make this chain all smaller than 6, and then this can't be 5, and now this has to be larger than those. Those can't be 5s either. 3, 4 makes these 1, 2, 3, and now suddenly I've got a set of 4, so the 4 goes away from there. And actually, since the 4 is required here, this ends up being a 5. Because it has to be larger than the 4.
Right.
not really seeing that much more that's relevant. Because, like, I could paint these, but they're everything up to 7. I guess I should go this group, 1, 2, 3, 4, because now they have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and we get 6, 7, 8, 9 going across, where none of these are a 6, so that should have automatically placed that 6, and a 9 that is removed from here, because the 9 at the top of column 2. And I guess these are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 9. Are either of these pointed at by an arrow? I don't think so. I guess these are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Not quite enough to say that we've got a set. I mean, once we remove this and that, then we would know if this is a 5, we know for certain. It would give us a 9 there, that would be nice. Oh, this has to be 7 or 8, and it has to be smaller than this. So the 3 and the 4 and the 7 go away, making this an 8 and that a 7. And actually 9 and 8 are going to be placed as well. And then suddenly this goes all the way up to 5. 7's removed from over here. Is it worth painting these? Everything smaller than 8? Not really. But we can just leave those alone for now. This one goes all the way up to 8. That's probably really silly to mark that, though. I would like this to be a small number. That would be really useful because it would pair with this one over here. And it would give us a 1, 2, 3 set there, and 1, 2, 3, and 4 going along this direction. Which actually removes this possibility from being a 4. Because let's imagine that this was a 3. Then that would be 1 or 2. Or I guess if this was a 4, that would be a 3. That would be 1 or 2. And now suddenly I have 5 digits from 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that can't be a 4. It's not the most useful digit to remove. Go ahead and mark the direction of that arrow just for funsies. I wish this didn't have to be or didn't have the possibility of being a 9, because then I'd have 9 as being one of those two, and would take 9 out of there and 8 out of there. Where do I need to look? This diagonal is completely unrestricted because of the 9 here. I guess technically none of this diagonal can be a 9.
Well, the main diagonal has an arrow on it. The other main diagonal.
Oh, this, and that takes this 9 out and places this one. An 8 here. 9's removed. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another 5. So now where is 8 as a or excuse me, not 8, 9. Top and bottom is removed. That's removed because of the arrow.
Well,
Not
if you look
enough.
to the left of the 8 in row 5. In row 5.
Oh. I was talking about that 9 earlier. But since that's 1 through 5, 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is removed, giving us a 6. This is a 7, 9 pair now. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this, having maximum 5, takes 6s out, 5 and 7 out from there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, placing a 5. And now 4 is removed. 1, 2,
There's
3,
more.
4, a 6.
Yeah.
And now the 5 is removed. That 5 is removed. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pairs, going to place 2 and 1. These have to be a 1, 2 pair. 2 and 6, so 1 is out. 5 and 4 is removed because of the max there. 2's gone from both of those.
Box 5.
1, 2 pair makes that a 3 or a 4.
Row
3, 4
4.
pair. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6, 7, 8, 9.
We get 5.
Sure did.
And since 5 has to be there, column 9, the 5 has to be in box 3.
And not there. 5 there. And this 8 forces the 9 down here. I'm just going to take it out of those, so we don't know between those two. Well, actually, yes we do, because where can the 9 go up here? It's not in the top row, not in the side row, because of the 8 forcing the 9 down here. 6 isn't 9, and neither of those two can be 9. So that is placing a 7. 7's out. 9 here. Can't have the 9 there because of that arrow. And I think this 9 takes it out of this one. So that's a 9 now. 5, 6, 8, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7 I think is missing.
Mm-hmm.
These are 7. No, not 7. 7, 8 pair. That's a 7.
The
That's
6 is in box 3 and 6 are part of an arrow. Up one more. To the left. To the left.
Oh, this one. So that's a
Box
7.
2, yeah. I guess I could have said box 2. That might have been more helpful.
Yeah.
Instead of making you guess.
Is alright. I figured it out eventually. 1, 2, 3, 4 triple. That's a 7.
1, 2, 3, 4 triple.
Quad, I guess. Eventually I'll learn what words mean. But not today.
Box
7's
8
gone.
has a 1, 2, 3 triple.
1, 2, 3 triple in column 5. So 4, 6, 8, 9.
Mm-hmm.
6, 8, 9, and 8. Well, these 2, 3, 4s both look at this. So if this was a 3, they'd both be 4. So that can't be a 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I kind of want to mark arrows that are basically done. A 9's pretty hard to mess up, but still theoretically possible. That 8 is done because the 9's over there. That 9's basically done. 7's basically done. 2's definitely done. 8's basically done. 3, 4's technically not done. This one's good. That one's good. 7 here is good. Probably do this a bit more systematically. This 8, more or less done. This 6, more or less done. This 3, 4, not necessarily, along with that one, not necessarily, and that one, not necessarily. So where are we missing stuff? We have 7s. We'll give us 7s around the 9. 8's one of those two. 9's? Oh, well, where's 9 in box 2? Well, it can't be on top or middle. The 5 isn't 9, and neither is 1, 2, 3, or 4. So that's 9. That isn't. And then that places 9 down here, because this one is restricted by this arrow, and that one by this 9 here. And then 9's over here, not there, and neither of those. So 9's are done. How about 8's? Neither of those. So maybe that one? Those 3. Is there anything that restricts these? I'm not seeing it. If anything does affect those. 7's then. One of those two. One of these two. And then it would probably look like this. 6's. Should have thought of that. Not quite as restricted. Maybe mark those. 5's pretty limited. Oh. This has to be a 5-7 pair because of the 5's and 7's and the 9's. So 5-7. 4 is now removed, and since 8's out of there, 8 has to be placed here. And now it's placed there, and there. And out of there, which makes it that one. So 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. And then this has to be 4 and 6, I believe, which is going to give us a 3, 4, 4 and a 3. Takes 3 out of those, placing 3 there. 3, 3... I can't tell if I'm missing some of the ways those work. This 6 removes a 6 from there. That's not a 3, that's not a 4, and that is 6 and 4, not a 4, not a 4. 6 is placed there. 3 has to be one of those, so that's a 2. None of those are, that is. 1, 3 pair places a 5. 1, 3, and 4, not a 1, so 3, 4 pair. 3, 4 pair places a 1. Holy cheese, that's a lot of the same sound.
Well, and box 7, the arrow.
3, 4 pair, 5. 3, 4 pair takes out that and that.
Row 8 has a 3, 4 pair also.
2. 1, 3, 4, so that must be 6, 7. The 6 above it fixes it. 3, 4 pair places a 1. Also a 1. C2, just going to go here, and a 3, I believe. And we're done. It was a pretty fun puzzle. Oh, I forgot to put it in the chat. Oh well. One of these days. Maybe we just sneakily put that in real quick. No one will notice, right? Especially if I'm not talking about it. Copy that. Paste it here. And I guess I actually want this one. Go in the chat. There we go. So there's that one. And the solution code is row 9. And I mean, probably around average. It's kind of difficult to see how some of the arrows impact what's going on. It took a little bit to find the cycle here. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. But I mean, that's not too difficult. I mean, the cycle right here is pretty easy to spot. And then it was just sort of whittling away at the thing. So it's on the easy side of average. I might go with easy there. What do you think?
That works.
Alright, looks like I have, most other people have also been placing that around the easy mark, so seems like I'm following the consensus, however the words there are supposed to go. Alright, let's go ahead and tackle Australia Day 2024. I'm a little late, maybe, depending on when Australia Day is. I guess I could find that information. I mean, if it's December 31st, then I'm only 4 months late. January 26th. So I've only missed it twice since this puzzle came out. That's fine. Anyway, so I guess I should go ahead and prepare that. And I'm gonna get this link over here. So this is Australia. Can I spell? Australia Day 2024. Scope pad link. Still feel like I didn't spell that right, but I'm probably just overthinking it. And bring this up here. I guess it's not over here, so leave that alone. Oh, I could have misspelled it again. Who knows? Australia Day 2024 by Wombat Breath. Digits do not repeat in any row, column, or marked diagonal. Each orange line in the grid serves 3 purposes. It's a palindrome. Digits on it must read the same in both directions. For example, 94349. So the 9's on the outside, 4 is one step in, and then the 3 is the middle digit, so it doesn't have to have a repeat. But if it was even length, then you would have 2 3's there in the middle. It is also a thermometer pair with its bulb in the center of the line. That makes sense, okay. And it is also a pair of arrows that meet in the center with circles at the ends. The shared arrow digit is in the thermometer bulb, and digits on thermometers must strictly increase from the bulb. A white dot between cells indicates that their digits are consecutive, and not all dots are shown. Okay. We have some interestingly shaped regions, which is allowed.
I would put a circle in the center, just to remember that
Yeah,
that's a bulb.
let's do that. There, and there. Well, this has to be a 3-cell arrow, because the tip is going to tell you the sum of these 3. And since they're all in the same box, that's going to be 6, 7, 8, or 9, which is going to repeat over here, 6, 7, 8, or 9. However, these well, this has to be at least 2, 3, and 1. 2, 3, 1. Oh, I guess there's still 6, 7, 8, 9. Because they can't repeat, they are still three different digits. But it was also over here in this single region. All right. Well, what else? Well, whatever these 2 are, right? So these 2 are going to be those 2. They have to repeat in this box. Well, they can't repeat in this row, so they have to be on top. So they're going to be here. Which I guess I could have just simply said, where can it be in row 3? It can't repeat in the region here, on the bottom half of the right side.
If you look at those as, all right, in row 2, the 3 that come down, so they're like the teeth that are Right. Those are in the top row.
If I grab
And
that, take
yeah.
those three, take red out of there. So then this would be yellow. It feels important, but I'm not certain of how exactly. I don't know if we can say anything about yellow at the moment. Well, we do know that these two digits are red, but this one cannot be.
Right.
Because it's here.
Well, we know that the circle for the two that have the 6 through 9, 6, 7, 8, 9 on the ends are going to be 1 or 2.
Right. And the second one has to be one. Well, it has to be 2 or 3. Because if it was a
Mhm.
4, it would be immediately followed by a 5, but we'd also have to have another digit. So, what's the largest that this could be? If
Well,
this
if
was
it's
1, 2, I guess it could be paired with a
it could be
6.
9. Yeah, 6 for 9.
But the same thing's going to happen over here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, that means this is a red digit, so is that one.
Not necessarily.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
It could be the other.
Yeah, the other from 2 and 3.
Mhm. And since the end point is not the same for
What
those
do you
two
mean?
arrows. Well, the
Right.
end points are they have to be different because they're on the same diagonal.
Yeah. And so one of them is going to force a 1. So these two have to be different.
Right.
Well, do they?
No.
Because if we knew they had to be different, then we would know that one of them was 9, but we'd also get a 3 there.
We could have 1, 3, 5 for 9.
Yeah. If these two are different, these would both be 3. And one of those two would be 4. And the other would have to be 5. And you'd get 8 or 9. Or 8 and 9. If this went 1, 2, 3, No. I don't know.
Well, then the other line is it kind of pairs with it. It's going to have to be a 1 also.
This one over here?
No, the one at the bottom, down below.
Uh-huh.
If the one that goes through red is 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
then that has to be a 1.
What can this arrow be? It's 2 cells, but this could not be a 3. It would break both of those. It can't be a 4, because a 1 and a 3 would make both of those 2. A 5 could be 1, 4. Six, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But this couldn't be. Obviously, it's not 1 because it has to be a minimum of 2. But if it was a 2, it would pair with a 1, which would break this one, and a 3 would pair with a 1 and break those. But if it was a 3 and a 2, it would break that one. So these are minimum 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. And obviously this is maximum 4, because a 4 and a 5 makes 9. I don't know, I think I misused the word obviously there, but I'll get over it. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has to be the sum of those two. So that's going to remove our 5. Because these 5 have to sum to whatever those two are, and the minimum in 5 digits is 15.
15, right.
So you can't do 5 and 9 for 14. It's not enough digits. And then, is there any way to get the other one involved? Because all 3 of those are different. Hold on, let me get rid of red and blue, because I don't know if those are useful. I want the colors gone. But if this was red, then that's red. If this one was blue, that one's blue. If this one is yellow, where is yellow in this box? It's not there or there. And yellow isn't blue, and it's not 1, 2, 3, or 4. So yellow has to be one of those two. These two are consecutive. What?
Oh, totally missed that.
This one is consecutive too. So whoever built this puzzle into Sudoku pad forgot to make those circles. Well, I bet most people don't use the dashed grid, but even still, those are hard to see with the broken line. Usually the Kropke dots are have a black outline around them to make those a little bit more obvious. And because I didn't see them, I completely forgot that was a rule. Red and yellow, so red and yellow, are consecutive. Well, if red and yellow are consecutive... Oh, derp. If this was yellow, that would be yellow. Well, that's yellow, so those two can't be yellow. So then that's not yellow, and this is 6, 7, 8, 9. So this can't be a 1, because if it was, then those two would be consecutive, but we know that these two are consecutive. So that's not a 1, and this isn't an 8. 8's gone. So now this couldn't be a 2, because it would have to go 2, 3, 4, which would break that. So that's a 1. Somehow we're at 10 consecutive viewers. So I appreciate everyone stopping by to watch. It's a different feeling having so many people watching. If the YouTube concurrent viewers number is accurate. But yeah, I hope y'all are having a pleasant day. So what else can we learn from what we've done so far? This one's yellow. We know that red and blue sum to a minimum of 15. I guess we should have known that this couldn't be an 8. Because if it was, the rest would be 1, 2, 3, and 4, which would make 18, and they have to be maximum 17. If red was 6, yellow would be 7, and blue would be 9. So that's allowed. If red was 9, yellow would be 8. But blue could still be 6 or 7. Oh, I mentioned having 10 concurrent viewers, and it went down to 5. Everyone left because I mentioned them. I'm sad. I scared them away. Well, what do we know about the 1 through, or the 5 digits that sum to red and blue? What digits have to be in those sets? I have to include 1, which I already have included, so that's not super helpful. To make 1 through 5 get up to to make 1 through 5 get up to 17, I can turn the 5 into a 7, or the 4 into a 6. But I could not turn the 3 into another 5. So 1, 2, and 3 are required, so this would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
If blue is 6, red has to be 9.
Correct. And yellow would have to be 8. And this would be 7.
If blue is 7, red has to be 3. And it could be 8 or 9.
Okay. Where can blue be along this diagonal? Blue isn't yellow. Blue can't go here, 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 or there. And it can't go there either. What else is missing? Because I have to be missing something, obviously. Well, 4, 5 would be 9. So that would be 3 or 6. Either of which would place it 2. And since it couldn't be 6, 2, 1 for another 9, it would have to be 1, 2, 3 for 6. And then that would make that a 9, so yellow would be 8, and we'd have a 7 left over. Could I make this a 2? That would force this to be 9, and red to be 8. This is a 2, then that's a 3, and that's a 4. But this being a 3 makes that 8 or 9. Okay, that's probably important. Okay, if this was a 2, we'd get a 4, and we'd get a 3. 6 is out, 7 is out. So 1, 3 is 4, a 4 makes 8, and a 5 makes 9. So 4 and 5.
Red
But
cannot
2,
be 9. Oh, no, it cannot be 6. Yeah, it can. Never mind.
Yellow would be 9. So blue would have to be 8. But so would red, because it's consecutive with yellow. So this cannot be a 2, is what that means. Because if it was, it would break all of the things.
Right.
Now, that's important because I've just broken the puzzle. If we look in here, these can't both be ones. So I did something wrong.
Why can't they both be one?
Because where does one go in this region?
Oh, I see.
It can't go there because of the
Right,
the
yeah.
thermo rule. That had to be consecutive with that. So
Yeah,
it
we should
couldn't
have
have a
noticed
one
that
there.
earlier, that they could not be the same. That's gotta be...
So 6, 7, 8, 9. And then since those 3 plus those 3 have to be at least 15, and those two sum to the same thing, 6, 7, 8, 9. I made that one yellow, these two red, and that one blue. Where's yellow in this box? Well, it can't be those two, and it can't be that. And it can't be there because it would repeat there. So yellow has to be one of those. It can't be blue. So then I ask, what can these be?
Well, and it can't be on the circle either.
Right. Yeah. So this can't be a 4 because it would pair with a 5. That would make 9, which is already too much. So then this is 1 or 2. This one repeats that one, so now that can't be yellow. And now yellow is guaranteed to be right here, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the same thing. And this is blue, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now this can go all the way up to 6, and it's minimum 3. Now, I said that this was a 1 because... Well, I think I said it was because... Well, red and yellow are consecutive. So if this was a 1, that would mean that these two are consecutive.
Right.
So this isn't a 1. 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, it can't be a 5.
Well,
3, 4,
unless...
5, 6. Can't be a 3. 7.
Unless
and a 1
red
is
is
required.
the... Because if you go yellow, red, and then whatever the other one is...
Red could be the smaller one.
Yeah.
Alright, well now
So you could have a 1.
So that can't have an 8 on it. It has to be minimum 5. No. 4. Yeah. It can't have a 3 on here, because if it was a 3, then the maximum this could be is a 2, which would be 5. But 4 and 2 is 6, so that's allowed. Okay. So that's why that can't be a 1. Okay. So then... This is 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, then we ask the question, well, can these two be the same? Well, if we look in this region, neither of them are red or yellow, and they can't go here, because they're 1 or 2. Because if they were a 3, you'd go 3, 4, 5, which is more than 10, and they have to be summed to a single digit. If they're the same, they're ruled out of all of there, and they're ruled out of this central region. So they're different. That means
Well,
both of
and the
these are
elbow
3.
means 3, yeah. One more 3. Box, yeah.
Which means blue and yellow is not 6.
And since it has a 3
Nor
in
is
it,
7.
blue can't be 7, yeah.
And 8 and 9 is removed from red. Oh, and so is 6, because it can't reach 8 or 9. So red is 7, yellow is 8, and blue is 9. 7's not allowed. It can still be 6 and 1. But 4 can't pair with a 3. 5 can pair with 2. But we do have a
Well,
1-2
and
pair.
on the blue line, it can't have 6 on it now. The blue 9s.
Right. Well, this has to be a 1 now, so that's a 2. So these are 4. 1 there, 6 there, 5, 8 over here, and 1, 3, and 4 more makes 8.
Okay, now we know that the 3, 4, 7 go in box 1 along the bottom.
3, 4, 7. This 7, that's 3, that's 4. What's left over in here? 1 and 2. But those aren't 1s, those aren't 2s. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those 2 aren't 9.
And the
1, 2, 5, and 7, I think. 2, 5 there.
the diagonal, the right-hand diagonal. Yeah. I guess I think that one is the left-hand one.
The positive diagonal.
Positive diagonal, yeah, is 1, 2, 5, and 6.
I guess the negative diagonal, I guess it has 5 on it,
2,
so it's
3, 5, 6, 9.
slightly less useful. Although it looks like it has more, well, 2, 5, 6, 9 places a 3. That helped. Alright. Well, now what? So I can take that out. Take these circles out.
Well, the consecutive domino in column 9 is on row 9 in box 7.
Mm. Well, that's interesting. So, if we think about the even possibility on here, neither can be 6 because of the 6 in column 9, and the bottom has 4 and 8 to its left. So the only thing it could be if it was even is a 2. But the 1 and the 3 both see the top value, so that can't be a 2. So this must be our even value. And so this one must be odd. 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. 3 and 7 aren't allowed. But 8 reaches 9, 4 reaches 5, and 2 reaches 1. As the only possibilities. But what's left over in this box 8?
2, 5, 2, 5, 6, and 9, and 7.
These two aren't 2. This isn't 5 or 7. 2, 6, 9. And 1 in the column? Not the most useful.
Okay, the top of the domino in box, I guess, 8, it's gonna go on the bottom row. And of course, those 2, 4, and 8. Never mind. Oh, 3 can be placed in box 7.
Here, I think.
Yeah. 'Cause there's a 3 in rows 8 and 9 and columns 2 and 3.
Four is placed there. So then it's one of those two. One of those two, actually. So then where is it in this box? Well, it can't be in row 2. Can't be there, 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 and the X-wing right here places it right there. Oops. Five, 6, 7's a little bit more. I don't know why I'm marking that. That's gone, that's gone, that's gone, and it's not a 4. So one of those two. One of those two. One of those 3. One of those 3.
Well, in
Oh,
box 9, it's
yeah.
gotta go along the bottom, yeah.
Is 8 useful?
The
I don't think so.
Well, yes, it is, because look where it is in box 9. Well, no, it could be at the top.
Yeah, still be there.
But in box 7, it has to be in the center vertical. Oh, that still doesn't help.
Too much. Alright, well, how about column 4? 5, 6, 7, 9, and 8. 7's out of that one. Kinda want to mark box 4, but it's not particularly. It's not really enough. I know that 4 is
Okay.
one of those two.
If
Okay.
if the consecutive domino is 8, 9, well, no matter what that domino is, it makes an X-wing with box 8. So whatever those 2 are have to be in the bottom row, and you can't have 8, 9. So 8, 9 is out. But you can have 1, 2, or 4, 5. But at least it narrowed it down 1.
Yeah. And if this couldn't be 8, 9, then this can't be an 8, because it would have to be one of
Right.
those 3, and it's not those 2. And if we just ruled it out of here, because it would have to pair with a 9 there, then we've ruled 8 out. So that's not 8, that is, and that's 7. And that's 7. And those 2 aren't 7, so that is. 4, 2, 5, 6, 9. Still put a 9 there. 3, 7, 8, 4. Three, 4, 7, and 9. Middle can't be an 8. 1, 2, 5, 6, 9. 1, 2, 5, 6, 9.
Oh, and the positive diagonal? The 6? Has to go down there in box, so the 6 is, yeah.
If this was a 1-2, that's a 5. And if that's a 5, then 5 can't be anywhere else in this column. So that rules 5 out of these 3. I don't know if that's helpful yet, though. I mean, we don't even know what else is in there. And I guess I could put what else is in there. 3, 6, and 7 are removed specifically, and now 5 is gone, and 4 is out of those 2. One, 2, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 3. Darn. If I could take the 9 out of here.
Oh.
1, 2, 5, 6. Even if I took 8 out of there, it's not enough. I have to get 9 out of both of these. Make that a 3-9 pair. You were about to say something?
Well, no, I was just thinking row 9, there in box 7, it's either 1, 2, or it's 5 and something. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be 1, 2, 4, or 4, 5, and I could put 2. I can put 6, and I can put 9. So something else must be found.
Alright, where does 7 go in box 9?
One of these 2, or one of those 2. 4, 7. This isn't a 9. 4. 1, 8, 6, 9, 1, 7, 8, 3, 6, 7, 9. 4, 7, 6, 9, 1, 8, 7, 8, 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9. 3, 4, 6, 9. 1, 2, 5, 7, and I can have a 3 in either of those. That doesn't help. It's close, though.
Oh, okay, the the consecutive domino again.
Okay.
Okay, if it's 1, 2,
Yeah.
then the third one for that box is a 4.
Yeah.
If it's 4, 5, then that is either 5 or 6. So the other one there is 4, 5, or 6. That's all it can be.
It can be 2
It could be 9.
and 9.
Well, no, it can't be 2. Oh, yeah, I guess it could. Because if that's 4, 5, 1, 2, 6, or 9. Never mind. 2, 6, or 9. But it can't be 5.
That's true. Because if it's 1, 2, 4, then it's not a 5. And if that's a 5, then it's not a 5. One, 2, 4, 8. Not enough. But if this is 1, 2, you get an 8, 9 pair, a 5, and a 4. But if it's 4, 5, I only get a 1, 2, 8, 9 pair quad. Everything from here has to be regular Sudoku solutions. More or less.
Oh, I
Oh,
get box 5. The 2s. Eliminate the rest of the 2s in that column.
and that places 2s there, taking 2s out. We get a 4 and a 5. 6, 9 pair places 2 and 5. 6, 9, 5, 6s. 1, 2 pair places a 5. And that has to be a 9. 5, 9, not a 2. Six pair
Wait a minute.
places a 9.
Oh, never mind. I answered my question.
1, 2, 8 places a 9. 2, 6 takes us 2, 6 out. 1, 5, 8 places a 9. 1, 2, 5, and 6, not enough. A 2, 5 pair places a 9. 6, 9, 8, not an 8. 5, not a 5, not a 5. I think A 1, 8 pair is going to make that a 2, a 6, a 2. 1, 6, 7 places 2. 5. 1, 2, 5, 2, 1. 5, 8, 1, 1, not 1s, not 8s, 2 and 5. 8, 2, 3, 1, 6, 4, 7. 1, 6, 8, 6, 7, 6. No, this one's 8. That's 3.
Yay.
What if I copy Wombat Breath into Logic Master's Germany? But yeah, I am happy we solved that one. That one was pretty tough. It didn't help that I made a mistake over here in the reasoning, that this couldn't be a 1 because of that, and that forced that to be a 1 because a 1 was required.
Yeah.
That was pretty silly logic-wise. That is not the search box I'm going to put that in. It needs to be in the author search box. Oh, Wombat Breath does not post theirs on Logic Masters Germany. Or they pasted it under a different name, which I'm not sure. Oh, there it is. Row 6. Yeah, this was better. Solve on... Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know why the version from that was connected to... Oops, wrong button. That back up, and yeah, I don't know why the version that was underneath the Cracking the Cryptic video was broken. It might have been an update to the software that ended up breaking it. That's not impossible. Although the image that Mark posted, the white dots are impossible to see, so maybe it was broken. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because I can't think of a reason why those dots wouldn't work, but that's okay. Even after we'd fixed this, I still found it a bit tricky to wrap my mind around the things. The 2s in here was really important to spot.
Yeah.
And it was mostly just a matter of not seeing them for a while until you finally did.
Yeah.
Because once that was spotted, then that's what did it in here to knock out this part. I don't know. I don't know. Because the logic itself wasn't difficult.
Yeah.
I guess it's just really whittling through it. I'm gonna call it average, I guess. Alright. Well, that is that puzzle. We still have 30 minutes. I say we give this a
Sure.
try if you're up to it.
Yeah.
So this will be our last puzzle for today, whether we solve it
Fog of
or
war.
not.
Woohoo!
Say again?
It looks like a fog of war.
It is a fog of war puzzle, which is a pretty neat
Well, I like fog of war, so.
yeah. Anyway, alright. Inner Circles by Michael Lefkowitz. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Also, fog covers the grid. Correctly placing digits clears the fog. No guessing is required or allowed. A black dot in a cell indicates its value has a 2-to-1 ratio with that of some orthogonal neighbor. A white dot indicates its value is adjacent to some neighbors, and a gray dot indicates its value and some neighbor's value sum to 5. All possible dots have been given. Where multiple dots could apply, one has been chosen at random.
Well.
So they are not mutually exclusive. Okay. All right. Well, there's nothing stopping those from being important. Or not being important, but like, I could put a 2, a 1, and a 4. And then those all work. So,
All right. Well, in box 1, where can you put 8s? They can't be adjacent to the 7 or the 9. At least that's what it sounds like, because otherwise there would be some sort of dot with it.
yeah,
Because all dots were given.
yes. So, well, if they have to sum to 5, then we know that those are 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Right.
The black dot's going to have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. 5, 7, and 9's removed. Because you can't
Right.
half them and you can't double them and maintain a single digit. But they aren't required because we don't know where they connect to. They're not required to connect to each other. So there has to be something else.
It just dawned on me that there could be an 8 next to the 9 if there's a consecutive dot with it.
Yeah, but the 9 would have to have a dot too. If all possible dots have been given.
Okay, yeah.
It would have to have a dot in both cells. Wouldn't it?
I think you're right.
These are clearly not 6. They can't be 5, 7, and they can't be 3. Okay. Well then, 7 and 9 is out. And then 8 is removed from all of those. You can't put 8 and 4 next to each other.
And 6 can't be next to 7.
Right. But that's still too many possibilities. This one is too many steps away for it to be relevant. Okay. Well, we know that none of these have dots in them. So I can't place 1 next to 2 or 4.
Place
I
1
guess,
next to 4.
right, because of the gray dot, which sums to 5.
Oh, right.
So I guess, where can 4 go? It's removed from being next to the 8. If this was a 4, it couldn't be next to 1 because of 5, 2 because of double, 3 because of adjacent. It can't be next to 5 because of adjacent, so if this was a 4, that would have to be a 6. Same with that one, that would have to be a 6. But could this be a 4 because of those two? It can't be next to 1 because it would sum to 5, 2 because it would be in a 2 to 1 ratio, and 3 and 5 because they would be consecutive. So that's not a 4. And neither is that one. And so if either of those was a 4, the one it's consecutive with would be a 6. except this one and that one would force both of those to be 6s. Because if this was a 4, 1, 2, 3, and 5 would be out, and those are the same. So this isn't a 4. If this was a 4, you'd lose 1, you'd lose 2, you'd lose 3 and 5, and you'd lose 8, and now suddenly they're both 6. So that's not a 4. Where can 4 go? It has to go here. And this isn't an 8, and now that is.
Okay, so 4 eliminates
1, 2, 3, 5. A 6 is placed. 6 can't be next to 3 or 5. And a 1 or a 2 can't be next to a 1 or a 2. A 3-5 pair. These have to be different. This is a 5. This is a 3, which can't be next to a 2. Okay. 4 can't be next to 1, 2, 3, 5,
or 8.
or 8. Neither of those can be 6 because they see a 6. And then this one sees a 9. So that's a 7. Okay, next to 8, you cannot have 7, 8, or 9, or 4. The cell also sees 3 and 6, so that's fine. 5, 6, 7, and 3. It also can't be a 1.
Or an 8, because 6 is 7.
Right. Well, 1, 2, and 3 aren't allowed next to a 2. 4 is doubled, 5 and 7, because of those two. And then next to a 9, you can have everything except for 8 and 9. And then 1 and 3 are removed from the row. Next to a 7, 6, 7, 8 is gone. But that's it. And then below the 7, 2, 4, and 9 is the 3 above it. Okay, well, that's suddenly a lot more progress. 5, 6, 7, and 3. And then this isn't 4 or 8. What can be here? 1, 5, 6, and 7 are all removed. And if it was a 4, 1, 3, and 5 would all be removed, so it's not a 4. A 2 would place 5. A 3 would place a 9
above it.
Yeah. 8 would place a 2 above it. And 9 is the least useful. Three, 7, and 8 aren't allowed, and you can't place a 4 there. Because 1, 2, and 5 would all be removed from the cell above.
A 2 would place the center there. A 2 would place a 9 above it. A 3 would place a 9 above it.
Yeah.
8 would place a 2, and 9 is useless.
If this was a 4, 1, 2, 4, and 8 would be removed from both of those. So not a 4. What is 4 even allowed to be next to? Because 4 can't be
7
next
and
to...
9. 6, 7, and 9.
Because can't be next to 1 for 5, 2 for double, 3, 4, 5 consecutive in Sudoku, and then 8. So could I put 4 in the center of any box?
Not unless it's part of...
A dot.
Unless it's got a dot.
Two, 9, 4, and 7. But I don't think anything's restricted just from the existence of 1, 3, and 5.
Right. In box 2, if the 4 is in... amongst what's lit, if the 4 is... if it's got a 4, that places...
6, 7. Oh. 4 could only be next to 6, 7, and 9.
Right.
So if that was a 6 and that was a 7, that would not be allowed. So 4 is gone. If this was a 7, that would have to be at 9, and so would be the cell below it. So that's not a 7. But a 6 would make that a 9 and an 8 and be just fine. If this was a 4, that would be a 9 and that would be a 2. 4, 9, 2, 5, 1 or 3, 1, 3, 5, and 8 would be a 6, which would take the 3 out. Well, I don't have an 8 in this box yet.
Well, 3 and 8 are what's left.
Yeah, but I can't put an 8 in either of those
Either
two.
one.
And I can't put a 3 in there either. And so that was starting with, could this be a 4? It can't. So then where is 4 in here? Not there. I removed it from here. And it can't be next to 8. This can't be a 4, because it would rule
6,
out
7,
that
and
box
9.
completely. Right. And this one, you could have a 6 and 9 and another 9.
That could also have dots.
Yeah. So we don't know about this one yet. Okay, so if this was... Well, this can't be a 4. It would break this one. 1, 2, and 5
right.
aren't allowed to be next to a 4. So where is 4 in this box? Not there. Can't be next to 8. And it can't be next to 1, 2, 5. It can't be next to 1, 3, 5. And then we tried to ask the question of, could this be a 4? And if it was, that would be a 9 and a 2. A 5, that would have to be... Well, then neither of those could be 8. Because I'd have to put 3 and 8 over
Right.
here. The 8 can't be next to a 4. So that must be a 4. It's
That is
not.
wrong. Our thinking was wrong.
We know that everything else is right. So what can be next to this 8? An 8, 7, 8, 9, and 4. 3 and 6 is also removed. So that has to be 1, 2, 5. 5, 6, 7, 1, 3.
8
If this was a
can't be next to
4,
7.
right. And if this was a 4, that would break the 1, 2, 5. So then below that,
4 can't have 4 neighbors.
1, 5, 6, 7, and 4 isn't allowed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3, 7, and 8. It cannot be a 4 because of the 1, 2, 5 above it. I think it's fine to be any of the others. Neither of those is 4. 2, 4, 7, 9.
6 and 8.
I guess the problem is that any of these could have a dot in them.
Right.
So I can't ask the question of... Well, I can still ask, where can 4 go in these? Because if this was a 4, 2, 3, and 8 would not be allowed because they would have to have a dot.
But it could be 9.
Right. It would have to be 9, because 2, 3, and 8 would necessitate a dot in order to exist. So then that would give us a 2, which would give us a 5. And now I have to place this 3, 8 over here. So that can be the 3, but this cannot be 8, unless they're both a dot.
Which is possible.
Right. 1, 2, 5, 6, 9. 9's out, 5 is out, 2 is out. Would have to be 1 or 6. This would have to be 8. Well, here's the other thing to think about. If I know that 4 has to be one of those two, since I've now ruled it out of everything else, but that one is, there's too much fog to be able to know for certain what's going on there. We just know that it's possible if these two are black crappy dots or black inner circles. Which, because of the confidence of placing a 4 there, which was wrong, we know that this is a 4, but we're not allowed to use that. We have to figure it out the right way. What's left over in this column, just in general? 2, 9, 4, and 7. Well, doesn't seem like it tells us enough. I guess what can be over here? We know 4 is gone. That's it. Could this be a 2? If it's a 2, that's a 5. That's a 9. That wouldn't be a 4. That would be...
That's a 6. Because it can't be 1 and 5 or 9, yeah.
So this would be 1.
Which one?
We have
3 and 8.
3 and 8. Which the 3 couldn't be next to the 2. So that's possible as long as there's a black Kropke dot here. And 4 is still one of those two. A 3 would also place a 9. You've got 1 or 5. 4 would be removed from there. One, 5, or 9. Well, that's a 9. So the 1, 5 is going to make that a 2, which is going to remove 1, which is going to remove 5. Still need 8. And I would need 6. Well, that couldn't be 6. So this would have to be 6. Is there any reason why that doesn't appear to work? Can't think of a reason. It would still necessitate a black property dot here. But so far, I have a black property dot here regardless. An 8 would force a 2. Would force a 5. 1 or 3. 4. 1, 2, 5, 6, 9. 9's out. 4 is out. 6 is out. 2 is out. So that would be 1. So this is 3. I would still need a 9. But I wouldn't be able to place a 9. So 8's removed. And so if this was a 9, a 2, a 5, One, 2, 5, and 6, and 9 would be removed. So that would be a 1, a 3, four, 6, and 8. 6, 4, 8. An 8 would be removed. Okay. Were there any patterns? One, 2, 5, 2, 9, 2, 3, 9, 3, 5. Well, I need more ways to take notes. 1, 5, 6, and 7. 7, 8, and 3. Well, 9 has to be one of those two, because they can't be 2 and 3, so 9 has to be there. And if this was a 2, those would both be 9, so that's not a 2. It could go 3, 9, 2, except if it did go 392, three, 9, 2, 5, 1, and then this would be broken. So this
Right.
can't be a 3. So now this ends up being 4 or 8.
If it's 4, it goes 492. Well, we know it's 4.
Yeah. Well, we accidentally discovered it was 4.
Right. Okay. If it was 8.
8, 2 or
2 or 3 and
3,
9.
9. Well, this would be 1 or 5. 1, 5, or 6. If this is an 8 and this is a 2, then that would be 5 and 1 and 6. This would have to be 4, and this would have to be 3. If this was a 3 instead, I mean, this still ends up being 4. So 1, 2, 5, 6. It couldn't be a 2. 1, 2, 5. 1 or 5. 1, 3. Well, it can't be a 3. Can't be a 4. 5 or 6. 1, 5, 6. Because 3 and 8 have been. So then this would be 2. It couldn't be next to 1. And it couldn't be next to 6. A 5. 1 and 5. It's 10 minutes after time. And we've barely made progress.
Yeah.
So perhaps we need to hit the stop button?
Yeah.
Okay. then we'll finish this puzzle next time, because it is getting a bit too close to too late. But that is okay. I'm going to transfer over to the talking screen. Thank you everyone who watched. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of that fancy YouTube engagement stuff. Definitely helps out the channel, brings more people to the streams so they can watch Sudoku on Mondays and Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're interested in gaming content, that happens on Saturdays at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. That is Monster Hunter World on Saturdays for the time being. And I also play Final Fantasy. I've also been playing, Final Fantasy VI. About a third of the way through it, maybe. But that's at random times whenever I feel I have enough time to stream that. But aside from that, can't think of anything else. So, again, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.